This is PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube.
On the news, President Bola Tinubu has handed over ECOWAS leadership to Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada, ending a stormy tenure marked by coups and regional tensions. Our correspondent has details.
Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has officially handed over the leadership of ECOWAS to Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada, marking a turning point for West Africa's regional future. But what legacy is Tinubu leaving behind, and what challenges await Bayo?
Let us approach diplomatic transition and foster inclusive that leaves no one behind.
During his tenure as ECOWAS chair, President Tinubu faced some of the region's toughest storms: military coup in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, worsening terrorism in the Sahel, and rising public distrust in regional leadership. He pushed for unity, defended democracy, and championed economic integration, but critics say enforcement was weak and citizen impact limited. Still, he's credited for keeping dialogue open during growing fragmentation. Now the baton passes to President Julius Maada, and his plate is already full. He's promised a people-centered ECOWAS with 4 key priorities: restore constitutional order where it's broken, reinforce regional security through intelligence and rapid response, reboot economic integration for jobs and trade, and reform ECOWAS institutions to rebuild public trust. His biggest challenge: reconnecting ECOWAS with the people. In a region battered by insurgency, coup fatigue, and economic despair, expectations are high, especially from youth and women. President Bayo inherits not just a title, but a region at a crossroads. Can ECOWAS balance democratic values with security? Can it move beyond rhetoric to real reforms? And as Tinubu returns to focus on Nigeria, many will ask, did he do enough? Or is the real work just beginning under new leadership? I'm Joycelyn Ella Keche, Ada PS News.
For over 3 months, public primary schools in Abuja have been locked in silence as teachers press for a long-overdue minimum wage. What began as a wage dispute has now snowballed into a full-blown crisis, with students stuck at home and leaders pointing fingers instead of finding solutions.
For over 90 days, classrooms across the Federal Capital Territory have been silent. Primary school teachers are on strike. Earlier in the year in March, President Tinubu approved a new 70,000 naira minimum wage. But FCT's area council chairman didn't implement it. Teachers walked out on March 24th and they haven't returned since. Despite repeated talks and pressure from the FCT administration, the chairman haven't budged. Now, the fallout is growing over 90 days of missed classes and no hint of a dialogue. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike is pointing fingers squarely at the chairman. He's demanding National Assembly intervention and wants the House Committee on Area Councils to dig deep and act fast. Meanwhile, activist Very Dark Man is turning up the heat, teaching kids alphabets on the streets in protest. He's issued a 7-day ultimatum warning of bigger demonstrations if nothing changes. The FCT administration says it's in talks with the NUT, NULGE, and NLC. But while promises are flying, there's still no clear date for a resolution. The strike is more than just policy. It's real children missing real education. And the longer it drags on, the more the future of FCT's young learners hangs in the balance. This is more than a wage issue. It's a crisis of leadership and urgency. Teza Phillips, PS News.
As potholes turn to ponds and trees take root in the middle of the road, residents are pleading for urgent attention before someone gets seriously hurt. Teza Phillips tells this story.
The Kador Road has become a serious challenge for both drivers and pedestrians. Deep potholes and rough patches now define this busy route. creating daily difficulties and raising safety concerns. One large pothole in particular has turned into a small river, swelling with stagnant water. Over time, trees have begun to grow from within its depths, a surreal and almost dystopian symbol of just how long this neglect has festered. A strange but telling sign of how long this problem has been left unchecked. Drivers now move slowly and carefully, but accidents remain a real danger.
It actually affects me, one, because I keep going to the mechanic because the road is terribly bad, and because of the raining season, the road is actually bad, honestly.
Pedestrians aren't spared either. Walking this road, especially during the rainy season, has become stressful and risky. Stepping into hidden puddles, tripping over broken ground, and worst of all, falling into an unseen hole filled with water is now part of their daily routine.
Very, very terrible. Doesn't aid free movement of trucks, vehicle around. And at times some customers comes around because of the pothole around. The road becomes inaccessible. Some of them end up using bike to the site where they are supposed to go and inspect. And you see, most especially when it is rainy season, by this time we are now going through this environment entirely. If you don't have patience, it's not motorable.
Still, not everyone is without hope. One commuter shared that some work has started along the road, possibly pointing to a solution on the way.
You can also see from this Katampe bridge, so we believe that this is the next one because they've started all the way from Maboshi just to navigate this Katampe road. Yeah, the main thing to make roads safer is for it to be well lit with quota or what have you, in order for people to access their destination, so of which is already in progress. And sooner or later, all these places will be things of the past.
Since assuming office, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has initiated numerous road rehabilitation projects and the construction of new infrastructure across the FCT. His administration has been widely praised for its proactive approach to urban development. However, residents and commuters along the Kador-Katampe axis are appealing to the minister to extend similar attention to their area, citing the deteriorating condition of roads and the urgent need for intervention. Tessa Phillips, PS News.
And now, what began as a simple dump site has now become a public health hazard, creeping into the streets and choking daily business with filth and fear. Let's hear Miriam Abuja.
In the heart of Gwarinpa lies a growing concern that threatens public health and daily life. Near the Kadombiko market, what seems like a giant trash bin has been overflowing with dirt. Placed on the side of a one-way road not far from the neighborhood market. People from far and near around this axis come every day to dump all kinds of refuse, from household waste such as food scrap to industrial waste, which has now crept into the road, leaving residents and traders in a constant state of worry and discomfort. This is not just an eyesore, it's a serious case of environmental neglect that demands urgent attention. When PSN News visited the area and spoke to some of the traders and residents, they expressed their dissatisfaction with the state of the dump and how it affects their daily business.
Honestly, the thing really affects us. The smell used to affect us very well, but we didn't have choice. But we are begging government to come and help us if they can do something about it for us.
The dustbin was at the 2nd Avenue over there. It was later removed to this 4th Avenue by the side where they are selling chicken.
It affects our business poorly because of due to the dustbin, we don't have customers, and then people don't have the chance to eat it because they say due to the environment, the place is dirty, so they cannot eat at this place.
Just managing it like that, you understand, because we have been so worried, you understand, to shift the dustbin from this place, but so they have not done anything on it yet.
They bring everything, sheets, dustbin, everything from outside, not even in the only from the market, from houses, from the estate. They bring dirty everything every time to come and dump here.
while the traders reply in the negative when asked if they paid maintenance due that covers the cost of clearing away refuge from the dump sites. Some of the older residents, however, acknowledge that authorities in charge of waste management do come to clear the refuge from the site, but not as frequent as required.
Actually, I've been staying in Gwarimpa for almost 27 years now. So they now brought the thing, the dustbin here. I advise that they should take it to the side of the mortuary or the burial ground there, or to the back there. But Abuja Environmental refused to listen. Look at this. It has taken about 3 weeks now. They've not come. But there are two sides. There is a private business that used to come and pick little like this morning. So before the end of the day, it will be filled up.
And it takes them some months to come and pick this thing. Sometimes they don't even pick it. It will get up to 1 month, 3 weeks before they will come and pack it again.
They come sometimes, like today now they came, they cleared the dirty, but they could not pack it all, so they just do half and then leave the remaining one.
Although some of the respondents praised the current Minister of FCT, Nyeso Wike, for his reputation in taking decisive actions, especially in sanitation and waste management, they yet stressed the need for the dump site to be moved to a different location or to be cleared up on time, so as not to become a breeding ground for disease outbreak. Marianne Awiya, PS News.
Iran has just shut down its Hormuz pipeline, a critical route that bypasses one of the world's busiest oil choke points. The move is rattling global markets, pushing oil prices above $100 and threatening food supplies from Asia to Africa. Here's the report.
Iran has shut down Hormuz. This is the pipeline that bypasses the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil choke points on Earth. This move sent shockwaves through global markets because nearly 20% of the world's oil passes through the strait daily. With tensions rising in the Gulf and energy routes now blocked, global oil prices are already spiking. Some reports say over $100 a barrel. Countries that rely on Middle Eastern oil like China, India, and much of Europe could face fuel shortages and rising inflations, while energy importing nations in Africa and Latin America may feel the pinch in transport, food, and production costs. The United States and its allies are calling for de-escalation, but they are also eyeing strategic reserves and alternative supplies from West Africa and the Americas. For all giants and traders, this is boom season, but for regular people at the pump or in markets across the world, this could mean higher living costs and tougher economic pressure. Iran says the shutdown is in response to increasing sanctions and security threats, but the move has raised the stakes in an already tense region. I'm Joycelyn Ella Keche, Ada, PS News.
This weekend, sports delivered a mix of passion, power, and big headlines, from transfers to triumphs and tough calls. Let's join Sam on the sport desk.
This weekend, sports gave us magic headline and moment that moved hearts and shook the pitch. We begin with football. Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa said it's time to fix Nigerian football from poor officiating to lack of structure. Still on football, the current Premier League champions have signed in Bayer Leverkusen playmaker for £116 million, Florian Wirtz, the most expensive young player in British football. The young playmaker is expected to light up the midfield and possibly break transfer records along the way. And on the heroic side of football, Santi Cazorla returned to his boyhood club. The Spanish maestro, now 40, went back to Real Oviedo, the club where it all began for him, on a humble minimum wage deal, and against all odds, he helped them return to La Liga for the first time in 24 years, scoring in both the semi-final and final. And finally, shockwaves hit the athletic community as Nigerian athlete Favour Ofili has switched allegiance to Turkey, blaming negligence by the Nigerian Athletic Federation. She joins a growing list of stars who walk away after being sidelined. Names like Anete Neka, Femi Ogunode, the fastest man in Asia, and Kemi Adekoya all left and all found success flying other flags. And that's it from the sport decks of PSN. Samuel Akman.
You just watched PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube. This is your trusted voice for news that matters. Subscribe, like, share, and stay informed.